this evening, featuring some fantastic high school improvisers. But before we get into things, I need to give you guys some rules first, all right? Number one rule of the club is there's no smoking.
I'm Kenzie West, and I am one of the 3 founding members of Seriously Playful, which is the nonprofit that puts on Operation Show, which is a high school improv league in Kansas City, Missouri. Improvisational comedy, or as it's called improv, is comedy that you make it up. And it's the beauty of it is that it doesn't always, there's different kinds. There's short form, which many people will associate with like Whose Line Is It Anyway? So it's short games that have certain rules and you play that, and there's a formula to make it funny. And then there's long form, which there's different kinds of formats and reasons for doing it, but it can go anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, and it's made up as you go, but you don't necessarily get up there and think, how can I be really funny right now? You get up there and you're a real person in a real situation, but extraordinary things are happening, and the truth is just funny in those situations.
I know how appealing it is to us if we let him die, but somebody's got to stop him. Have to stop him. I just don't remember which booth it is.
One of my favorite games that the kids in Operation Show play is Beastie Rap. And it's a rhyming game in the vein of the Beastie Boys. And
Can you give us like
an example?
Yeah.
Not by myself, because...
I'll help you.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, can I have a one-syllable word? Any one-syllable word?
Road.
Road.
Him over there, his name is Joe.
Boom! 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 Yeah, I'm already aware of this. I already know. Boom! Boom!
When I'm working in the garden, you use a hoe.
Boom! When you're not, stop. You
So
are.
one person sets up the word, and then the posse has to rhyme it, like the Beastie Boys. And the green beans kill it every time. And it's showmanship. A lot of it is practice, yeah. And they play together a lot, and they're buddies. But they're having so much fun up there every time they do it. And they are a part of Exit 16, which is coached by Trish Barong. It's in, I think it's its 16th year.
I love the green beans. I mean, not just because I have to, because they're mine, but they, when they started the high school league, all the kids in Exit 16, which is the Liberty High School group, are insanely busy, except for a few of them who are like hardcore dedicated to improv. And so the ones that were hardcore dedicated to improv couldn't find enough people in the rest of the troupe who wanted to commit. So they asked their friend Noah to play with them, and he had auditioned but not gotten in. And he played with the Green Beans all for the first 2 seasons and made me feel deeply stupid for not getting him into Exit 16. So he's in Exit 16 now. He auditioned and made it in because he's amazing. But now they're playing with a kid named Aaron, who is also phenomenal. And just to watch the 4 of them work together outside of Exit 16, where it's a completely different dynamic because there are 11 kids in Exit 16, to watch them play as 4 and to see their different personalities and their different skills come out, to watch their dedication to the work, to watch them really play with each other and try to get better is really cool because they're huge improv nerds in the best way possible. So, yeah, they're awesome.
Tim Mason told a story about when he and his friends came to comedy schools.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us that side of the story from your perspective?
I had just gotten a really horrific perm. Like, triangle head perm. It was awful. It was so bad. It was the early 90s, so I guess that's my excuse. And our ref for that show is Dave Caius, who is now a local DJ. And to get the audience on his side, he encouraged audience members to make fun of my hair, pretty much the whole show. And there was this one table of high school kids, and it was Tim Mason and Dan Walsh and their friend Betsy, and I think their other friend's name was Chris. And they were sitting right by my bench, and they made fun of me the whole show. And we had just gotten the high school league kind of started, or we're just getting it started. And so I went up to him and I said, "You think you're so funny? You come do this. You come do the high school league." And they were all, I had no idea that was like the biggest, coolest thing that could happen. At least that's the impression I got. So they all started working with us, and we took Tim and Dan and Betsy, and so we had these 3 high school kids in our troupe.
And the name of that troupe
Was Lighten Up. One of the things that's been really cool to watch with the different troops is watching not only the kids bond, but with Seriously Playful, all of the teams are paired up with a professional improviser, and watching the adults get invested in the kids is really cool.
My name is Tim Mason. I write stuff for Second City and I perform. Right now I'm writing 2 shows for them. The high school league then kept going, and then Comedy Sports disbanded, right? And then they formed Lighten Up. And Trish and Mark, who were in charge of the high school league, actually hired us to be regular performers there. And if it wasn't for the high school league getting us into the improv world, getting to know that, I would never have been an improv performer. And it really did change my life. I liked acting. I was in high school theater and stuff, but I've never felt, I think if I had never gotten into improv, I probably would have given up performing, because that was more my, improv just came so naturally to me. I've seen improv affect kids, adults who are in jobs that they don't quite love, take an improv class, and it gives people that element of oh, I'm creative. People are interested in what I want to say. It's like jumping off a high building, and once you do it, you're going to be fine. That's not technically true if you jump off a high building, but there's got to be a better metaphor. It's like bungee jumping. Once you jump off, then you're going to be fine. But what I'd love to see for high school, exactly, I feel like high school, and I think it is across the country, high school improv is a big thing. And it makes me super happy, because even in my kids' school, which are grade school, they have an improv teacher that comes in after, and you can take improv class. And my daughter has no interest in it at all, kills me. But I think I'd love to see it be just like a part of every acting, drama club. There should be an improv club, because I think it really reaches out to kids who feel confident as writers, but not so confident as performers, and it helps them bridge that gap and find a way for them to be more dynamic and stuff. That's what I think.
Would you consider yourself the godmother of improv in Kansas City, or the sister?
Older sister, maybe. Aunt. Very young aunt, maybe.
Very young aunt.
That's really flattering. I like having, let me start that sentence over. The thing that makes having done this in Kansas City as long as I have the most fun is watching people that I've worked with at one point or another go on to either love improv or succeed at it. So knowing that, I had a troupe that Tim Mason got to play in, and it helped him fall in love with improv is wonderful. Watching Laura Irwin and Chris Fuston and Aaron Wallace play in KCIC, and Andrew Kinniger and Renee Boudreau and Claire Williams play in Comedy City is the coolest thing in the world. And watching them all sit after shows and tell stories and drink beer is even better.
For Seriously Playful, our tagline was "For the love of play," and that's what it is. It's all for loving the play of it. But why I decided to do Seriously Playful, why I was passionate about being a part of it, was because I wish I would have had something like that when I was 16. And Trish Barong, who was such an incredible, not just an incredible supporter of improvisers as humans and as people, she's a wonderful friend, she's an incredible mentor, but she really, Operation Show wouldn't have happened, Seriously Playful wouldn't have happened without her support in so many ways.
Bartender says we cannot serve your kind in here. The hot dogs say, fine, we can just go relish in our pain over there.
185 hot dogs walking to the bar. The bartender says, "You're not welcome here." The hot dogs say, "Whoa, we're packing some heat."
185 hot dogs walking to a bar. The bartender says, "We can't serve your kind here." The hot dogs ask, "Why?" And the bartender says, "I don't know what you're made of."